You grab your keys, and your dog is already at the door. You haven't said a word. You haven't touched the leash. You barely moved. But somehow they knew. Maybe it starts when you put your shoes on. Maybe when your jacket comes off the hook. Maybe the second your voice changes, just slightly, as you shift into leaving mode. Most owners see this and think, routine, just a habit, just a dog being a dog. But what if your dog isn't reacting to the door at all? What if they're reacting to something they feel long before the door even opens? Here's something most people underestimate about dogs. They are extraordinary pattern readers. Your dog has memorized sequences you don't even notice yourself. The shoes you wear when you leave versus the ones you wear around the house. The way you move through rooms when you're about to go. Faster, more purposeful. The sound of specific keys. The bag you only grab on weekdays. To you, these are random moments in your morning. To your dog, they're a chain of predictions. And over time, your dog has learned that this chain leads to one outcome. That's why some dogs react before the door even opens. They're not reading your mind. They're reading your pattern, and they've gotten incredibly good at it. But here's what matters. The reaction itself can mean very different things depending on your dog, and most owners only recognize one of them. The first possibility is the simplest. Your dog may just be tracking the rhythm of your day. Some dogs wait by the door the same way they wait by their bowl before feeding time. Not because they're anxious, because they've learned the sequence and they're following it. These dogs usually look calm, loose body, soft eyes, normal breathing. They may watch you, maybe follow you for a moment, then settle back down once the door closes. This isn't a problem. It's just a dog who pays attention. But this is only one version of the story. The second possibility runs deeper. For many dogs, leaving is a social event. From their perspective, the group is changing. Someone important is about to move away. And so they move closer. Not because they're panicking, because they want to stay connected to you right up until the moment you go. This is especially common in dogs who are deeply people-focused, the ones who follow you from room to room, kitchen, hallway, couch, bathroom. Wherever you go, they go. For these dogs, waiting by the door is a form of presence. Their way of saying, I know something is changing and I want to be close while it happens. And honestly, that can be one of the most beautiful things about living with a dog. But there's a third possibility that most owners miss entirely. For some dogs, waiting by the door before you leave is the earliest sign of distress. Not after you leave, before. And this is where most owners get it wrong, because they only look for problems after the door closes. The barking, the chewing, the scratching, the accidents. But for some dogs, the emotional response starts much earlier. It starts the moment they recognize the pattern. the keys, the shoes, the shift in your energy, and their body starts telling a story their voice can't. Sudden alertness, pacing, panting in a cool room, lip licking, refusing a treat they'd normally take without thinking, staring at the door, then at you, then back at the door, like they're calculating a countdown. Because a calm dog standing by the door and a tense dog standing by the door look similar on the surface. But underneath, they're in completely different emotional states. One is tracking a routine, the other is bracing for loss. So how do you tell the difference? Watch the body. Soft eyes, loose muscles, steady breathing. That's a calm dog. Stiffness, rapid breathing, yawning when they're not tired, restless pacing, an inability to settle. That's a dog who may be struggling with what comes next. And pay attention to escalation. Does your dog notice you're leaving and then move on? Or does the tension build the closer you get to the door? That difference matters more than most people realize. And here's where it gets complicated. Because sometimes we make this moment harder without meaning to. Think about how most people say goodbye to their dog. They kneel down, they hug, they use a soft, almost apologetic voice. They say, "I'll be back," 3 times. They turn leaving into an emotional event. And while that feels loving, to a sensitive dog, it can signal that something very big is about to happen. There's also the pattern of only giving extra warmth right before walking out. Your attention suddenly gets focused, affectionate, emotionally charged, and then vanishes. For a dog who's already on edge, that contrast can make departures feel even heavier. The fix isn't coldness, it's calmness. Make departures smaller, quieter, more ordinary. The goal is for leaving to feel boring, not like an event your dog needs to emotionally prepare for. And if your dog gets tense at specific cues, the keys, the shoes, the bag, try breaking the pattern. Pick up your keys and sit back down. Put on your shoes and go nowhere. Open the door, close it, and walk to the kitchen. Over time, this helps your dog stop treating every cue as a countdown to being alone. So if your dog waits by the door before you leave, don't rush to one explanation. It may be routine, it may be attachment, it may be anticipation. Or it may be the first sign that being left alone feels harder for your dog than it looks from the outside. The answer isn't in the behavior itself, it's in everything around it. The body language, the timing, the intensity. And what shifts the moment you're leaving becomes real. Because dogs don't speak in words, they speak in signals. Small, quiet, constant signals. And when you learn to read them, you stop just watching your dog. You start understanding them.